The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission has been allocated 21.7 billion shillings in the coming budget as the country counts down to the August 9th general election. This adds to the 22 billion shillings allocated to the electoral body in the current financial year that ends on the 30th of June. The Commission had requisitioned 58 billion shillings to prepare for and conduct the August polls in a 5-year election operations plan that was to cost 84.1 billion. Francis Gashuri reports on the cost of financing the election that is now 123 days away.
The cost of running the August general election was among the key highlights as National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Ukur Yatani tabled the 2022-2023 budget highlights in the August House.
Mr. Speaker, in order to facilitate the 2022 general elections, we allocated Kenya shilling 22.9 billion in the current financial year 2021-2022, and I further propose an allocation of Kenya shilling 21.7 billion in the financial year 2022-2023 to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission.
IEBC had projected a more expensive general election compared to the 2017 polls. The number of registered voters has shot from 19.6 million in 2017 to 22.1 million as at February this year, after 2 rounds of nationwide mass voter registration drives. This will increase the number of polling stations, with the law requiring that each polling station must have not more than 700 registered voters. The Commission had last year unveiled a 5-year election operation plan that was projected to cost the taxpayer 81.4 billion shillings. The amount of money allocated to the Commission in the current financial year is 4 billion shillings less than the projected budget in the 5 key electoral aspects: strengthening strategic operations, effective conduct of elections, strengthening the legal framework, public outreach, and strengthening corporate governance. In the 2022-2023 financial year, IEBC will receive 11.9 billion shillings less than it outlined in its 5-year plan. IEBC had sought 19.9 billion shillings to fund effective conduct of elections, 6.7 billion shillings to strengthen strategic operations, 6.2 billion shillings to fund the legal framework, 851.7 million shillings for public outreach, and strengthening corporate governance at a cost of 34 million shillings. IEBC will be forced to plug the budgetary deficit with financial support from strategic partners 123 days to the polls. In the 3.3 trillion shillings 2022-2023 budget, the National Executive takes the lion's share at 2.03 trillion shillings, 869 billion shillings allocated to consolidated services, while county governments will receive the same amount of money they were allocated in the current financial year. Parliament and the judiciary will receive a combined allocation of 69.1 billion shillings.
In order to enhance good governance and scale up our fight against corruption, I propose an allocation of Kenya shilling 3.6 billion for the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Kenya shilling 3.4 billion for the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, Kenya shilling 8.4 billion for the Criminal Investigation Department Services, and Kenya shilling 6.4 billion for the Office of the Auditor General.
President Uhuru Kenyatta's 10th and final budget will largely be implemented by his successor, who Kenyans will pick at the ballot on the 9th of August this year. Francis Gashuri, Citizen TV.